Hi guys. On the suggestion from a new friend of mine, I decided to watch the movie The Dissident. It's a documentary. It's on Amazon Prime right now for $20, and which is weird because uh, Jeff Bezos is in it, and he kind of comes out smelling like a rose with his depiction in the movie. I figured he might want to maybe subsidize how good he looks in that movie by just lowering the price for everyone to watch this really great documentary. But no, it's in its early release time right now, so it's like $20. Um, Good movie. I'd say it's well laid out. Um, it's 2 hours and enjoyable the whole way throughout. Good graphics for when they had to animate stuff in order to make a point or you know illustrate things. But my favorite moment in the movie, my favorite part was a montage of the different reactions of American elected officials to the news that MBS was linked to the killing of Jamal Khashoggi in the consulate in Istanbul. And so, like, you've got the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, who is in complete denial. He's like, no, I just talked to him, like, not too long ago, and he said he had nothing to do with it. And will we ever know? And these are scenes that I remember seeing when it happened. Um, but in the Senate, we had people who were of the same political party as Donald Trump. And back then, it wasn't as scary to oppose him from the same party. Um, this is before the groundswell of support from QAnon members. Um, that movement hadn't really taken off. This thing about Jamal Khashoggi really predated that, 2017 ish, and it you know it happened kind of correlating with the first visit that Trump made to any other country. Just happened to be Saudi Arabia, where he acted like a complete cuck and said that, oh, we're not trying to spread our culture to your country. We would never do that. And basically, it was like he was reading from a script that MBS wrote for him to read, like he was holding him at gunpoint or something. So cucked by that speech. It was so horrible. But my favorite part of the movie The Dissident is that reaction from Donald Trump, where he can't admit that MBS has anything to do with the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, even though all the intelligence agencies said so. All the evidence they have is pretty damning. And our own U.S. senators were saying, no, MBS needs to be, have consequences for this. This is not right. He killed a journalist in another country. He was assassinated, basically. The Jamal Khashoggi. It was just like this big, huge thing. But my favorite part about that is senators like Lindsey Graham and Rand Paul, from the same political party as Donald Trump, are shown disagreeing with him to such a degree that, I can't see them doing right now. You know, um, so we had the Capitol riot, and that was a week ago today. This is January 14th. So we had that Capitol riot, and a week ago, at this time, I was watching overnight. They still went ahead and did the certifications of the votes of the Electoral College. It got pushed back into the night because of the events of the day. And then, even though the president had sent this mob down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol building, and they invaded the Capitol building, even though that happened, 138 Republicans still voted to object to the certification of Pennsylvania's electors. 138 of them. And 7 senators. That vote basically was a vote to disenfranchise Pennsylvania voters. Why? Because Trump was upset that he didn't win, and so he accused the process of having been defrauded, with no merit to any of his claims. He's lost dozens of court battles at this point. The 3 people that were found to have committed voter fraud in Pennsylvania, the 3 voters that did, they were all Republican, voting for Trump. So, oh my goodness, it's just a shit show, right? But I'm going to go ahead and say the 7 senators and 138 congressmen that were in the House that voted against Pennsylvania voters having a vote at all, voted against their Electoral College votes counting. Those people, even in the face of, perhaps even dying at the hands of those insurrectionists, which could have happened. There are reports that, they came a lot closer than has been said. There's video footage that I've seen of them knowing the layout of the Capitol building and people barking orders. Like, hey, over here, there's something over here, break that glass to get into that, drop down into that room over there. Yeah, it's like, this was a close one, We're lucky that just the few people that did die did, and we're lucky it wasn't worse than that. It was still unthinkable. Well, even when we could have foreseen it, it's still this monstrous act that happened, and it's all at Trump's feet now. He is the person who has been impeached the most times of any sitting president, at 2. He has the record. He loves records. He loves, being a winner. He'll go down in history as the worst. So there's that. But what I liked about the movie The Dissident was just that scene where Lindsey Graham wasn't just parroting the president and acting as though the emperor had clothes when he's naked, you know, like he's been doing in the run-up to those horrible events, you know. There were so many people around the president who did not just shoot him straight and say, hey, you lost. They kept entertaining him through all of his objections to the valid democratic vote of our country. They kept entertaining him when none of them should have. You know, and back in those days when MBS killed Jamal Khashoggi by sending his own personal guard to the consulate in Istanbul to chop him up into little bits. Back then, Lindsey Graham was vocal against Donald Trump, saying, "No, the president's wrong. This is clear cut. You know that all of the intelligence agencies are saying he did something, and it's wrong for the president to be rubbing elbows with that guy." You know, and back then they were blocking the sale of arms to Saudi Arabia for that reason. That you know, they were like, no, this MBS guy is he's a bad cookie. Care to guess what they did this year? They actually before the election, Trump finally just kind of found a way to get that arms deal authorized, this huge arms deal with Saudi Arabia. Finally. After everyone had pretty much forgotten about Khashoggi because, you know, the election and the Rona and, you know, everything else that's going on in our lives. A couple years had passed. Finally got that arms deal to go through. With this weird hypnotic power that he has had over people that used to have the strength to defy him. You know? Even after that Capitol riot, 138 House congressmen and 7 senators were still willing to go along with the plan to try to steal the election by overturning the vote of the people.